This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
I am paging Dr. Shanta.
I am the Dr. Shanta.
And I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Paging Dr. Shanta podcast, all things related to the Black culture.
Put the doctor in front of your name.
What's up, family? It is Dr. Shonda. Tune in for another episode of Paging Dr. Shonda. All you have to do is keep watching. But listen, if you're just watching from the outside, just peeking through the window, I need you to commit. Come all the way in the house, and I need you to subscribe, like, and shoot me a comment in the comment section. I love responding to all of your comments. I love listening and reading how much you guys enjoy the topics that I'm talking about. So yeah, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and join the tribe.
Stop scrolling for 1 second. This month, we are bringing back the psychology of Black women, the online class brought to you by yours truly, Dr. Shonda, licensed clinical psychologist. Y'all, I've been getting so many questions about why anxiety and depression presents differently in Black women. What do we do about it? How can we start to combat this? And what are some of the reasonings behind it? Listen, if you are a Black woman who has questions about anxiety and depression, it's something you experience or something your loved ones experience, or if you're a professional who works with Black women who experience anxiety and depression, I promise you this class is for you. Make sure that you sign up today.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You are now tuned in to Paging Dr. Shonda, where you can watch on Fox Soul, Tubi, Hulu, and also listen on Revolt Podcast Network. I am so excited to be here with you all yet another week. We are encouraging self-reflection through meaningful conversation, and we do that by interviewing various guests from celebrities, artists, influencers, you name it. Today, I have none other than my bro, Pastor AD, or is it just AD? How do you want me to introduce you to the people?
However you want to. I'm all of that. I'm all of that. But just however you want to.
Period. Okay. All right. So, bro, can you introduce yourself and let the people know who you are, what you got going on, and yeah, let us know who is AD. What's AD about?
Yeah, for sure. What I like to say is that I'm Adrian. Everybody calls me AD. I am a comma. I'm more than just one thing. I am a pastor. I am an entrepreneur. I'm an actor. I'm a director. I'm a photographer. I'm an artist. I'm all of those things. I am a multi-hyphenate individual, and that's the way that I feel like God has created me, and that's what I've chosen to not fight against, to try to identify as one particular gifting, because usually like when people identify with you how they met you. So if they met you in one particular capacity, then that's how they will label you. So they met me as a pastor, then I'm Pastor AD to them, and that's perfectly fine. But if certain other people, have met me as an actor, and so I'm AD the actor to them. And so I love that too. But I have just chosen to embrace all my gifts, and so that's who I am. I'm just a multi-gifted person, like majority of everybody else. Especially within our culture, we are all multi-gifted people, and so I've just chosen to lean into that. So but that's me. And right now, what I got going, photography's doing great, and I'm loving that, and I'm loving this new hobby that has turned into more than just a hobby, but I love it. And then just creating. I'm just loving this process of creating and this journey of creating. So that's what I've been doing lately. Just being in the creative space and just creating.
That is amazing. Listen, AD, when you say like I am a comma, I am a multi-hyphenate, that resonates so well with me, because upon pursuing my degree to become a psychologist, like I always had in mind, I don't just want to be known as a psychologist. Like I want to be able to indulge in my other passions, such as creating, producing, being an influence. Like I want to do all these things, and I don't want to be boxed in. I like speaking. I like doing all this stuff. And so, it's amazing to see you do it.
Yeah, I think, sis, I think one of the biggest issues that we have a lot of times is just the anxiety that comes with trying to figure out that one thing that we're called to do.
Yeah.
And understanding that we're called to do all the things that are on the inside of us. Like I made a commitment to God that my whole task is to go to the grave empty.
I love that.
And like that's my whole assignment in the earth. I believe like whatever's on the inside of me, I want to pour that out in the earth, and I want to go to the grave empty. I don't want to go to the grave full of giftings and shoulda, coulda, wouldas and possibilities and all of that stuff. Like I like when Jesus was on that cross, he says, "It is finished." He didn't say, "I am finished." He says, "It is," meaning the assignment and what I'm called to do has been completed. And so I don't want to have to say, "Oh yeah, I'm finished" at the end of my life. Like I want to say it is. Like I did everything that I was called to do and everything that was put on the inside of me. And so when you say that, all the things that you're doing and all the things that you are stepping into, because like immediately, like in the beginning of the show, I was like, "Oh wait a minute, I need to talk to you about this and getting this and it." Like I think you need to like coach people on how to do what you do and place where you place things. And I don't know. Like I think people need to sign up and be a part of your production agency or something.
Listen, I would be so here for that. Like, and here's the thing. I feel like I need to pick your brain too, because I was just texting you yesterday about some stuff that I need, but like it's so much in here, AD, and it's just like trying to get it out on paper, trying to get it to come into full like fruition. Like it can be hard as a creator. And I think, one thing that you represent is like someone who's able to do it all. Like you've been able to not just pastor, but when I turn on the TV, I text you like, a couple months ago, like, "Yo, am I ever going to be able to watch a movie without seeing you in it?" Like, you're all over my screen. And you're killing it right now. So like, how are you able to balance and wear all of these hats?
So I think for me, it's not a matter of balance. To me, it's a matter of priority.
Yeah.
And because certain things take certain priorities in certain seasons. And really, I think like if we lean into what we're being, I used to say this all the time, like whenever we are at that place of, well, I don't know what I'm called to do, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I used to tell people, what do your friends repeatedly come back and ask you for? Like what level of advice do your friends repeatedly come back and ask you for? Not the same thing, but I mean like along the same lines. Like if my friends consistently came back and asked me for relationship advice, then I may have given them some good relationship advice. But like my friends will always come back to me and ask me about creativity, about creating, about areas. And like we will have these levels of what we consider confirmations of what we need to lean into for specific seasons, but we will not lean into that because we'll be like, "Oh, that's just my friends asking me," or that's just whatever. Right. And it's like, honestly, like if we really tapped in, the season of priority will tell us, "Hey, this is a priority right now." Like lean more into this, lean more into this. Like when I first moved to LA, it was, it was more in settling and like getting settled in. And then the second year, acting started taking off. I started getting more calls and doing that because the first year I was settling in and I was in acting class, and I'm doing another acting class now, but I was in school and doing all of that stuff. And then that second year things started to take off. So that became the priority. When acting slowed up because we had the writer's strike and so forth and so on, then I started to learn photography. And now photography is taking off. Whenever we have certain itches to do certain things, I think we should lean into that instead of being so fearful, because I think for our culture, one of the biggest things is that we do not want to be bad at something temporarily.
Talk about
That's our big thing. We do not want to be bad at something temporarily. You're not going to start off an expert. You're not. Like if you looked at, your production value of your show and how you do your show and how you talk to people and how you conversate with people has grown since your first show. If you go back and look at your first show, you're probably like, "Man, ooh,
I was in my closet."
See, look, I was in my closet. Like I was like, but but that's the thing. If we don't look at something and then see it grow,
Yeah.
then it's been stagnant. But whatever we continue to do, it continues to grow. But we don't want to start somewhere. We want to start at expert level, and that's what stops us from doing anything. Um, and so for me, it's not a matter of balance, because if I try to balance everything, something's going to fall. And majority of the time, it's going to be your personal
Yeah.
things, your health. You're going to put all your stuff on the back burner, trying to pursue and trying to do certain things. For me, it became.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
A matter of priority. What is the priority, and what is calling me right now for this season of my life? Like, what do I need to put intention and intentionality behind? And so that's what I've kind of leaned into. Like, it will, like, God will pretty much like tell you, like, hey, lean into this right now.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I know you're multi-gifted.
Yeah.
Hey, right now, this is the priority, because something is going to go missing if you try to balance everything. And so we just have to lean into, like, hey, right now, my family is a priority. Hey, right now, this is a priority. This is a priority. And so I've just tried to balance. I mean, not balance that, but I've just tried to make that my list. Like, right, for this season of my life, what is the major priority? And understand that those things change, and then communicating with those things when they change. I had to have a conversation with my mom and my sister and my daughter when that time came where I had to lean in more to, the job stuff and work stuff. And hey, I'm not going to be as available and as accessible.
Yeah.
Hey, but if y'all need me, I'm here. But I'm going to miss our weekly calls or our weekly texts or whatever the case is, sometimes. And so having those conversations with those things, because if we kind of try to balance everything, I think that's where that burnout comes in.
Absolutely. I'm glad you touched on burnout too, because like what we're describing here, a lot of people aspire to be able to like do this success, like Beyonce. I can launch a clothing line. I can launch a hair line. I got a whiskey line that's out right now, and it's all going to be successful, right? All because she is someone who I consider a multi-hyphenate, but everybody doesn't have that gift. And one of the things, though, like a downfall of being able to be a multi-hyphenate is like that burnout, the B word. Being burned out from your assignment because I'm wearing so many different hats, because I am a actor, I'm a producer, I'm a photographer, I'm doing all these amazing things, but also I'm getting burnt out. I wonder for you, bro, like what has been some ways that your body has been telling you like, okay, right now I'm kind of burning out, so I need to take a step back?
Yeah. For one, I think you said part of the answer within the question. What is your body telling you? And majority of us ignore our bodies for the sake of the assignment, right? It's like, I'm doing this, like, now like your body be telling you, hey, pay attention to me. Like, so I have had to learn that the hard way, honestly, like trial and error. So I'll say this first, that a part of when we look at Beyonce or Rihanna or Kevin Hart or like all of these people that are launching all of these things, all of those things were on the inside of them. They probably wanted to do, but they found something like, hey, I want to do all of these things, but I'm going to lean into this for this season. They made this a priority. Kevin Hart made stand-up comedy a priority after, then he got a little buzz, and then he made Soul Plane, but then he went right back to stand-up comedy. Because he was like, this is what's hitting. I'm making this a priority. Am I an actor? For sure. Am I a director? For sure. Am I a producer? For sure. But I got to make this the priority, because this is the thing that keeps calling me. I keep getting callbacks for this. I keep getting booked for this. He made that a priority. And then all of those other things, as the priority began to build his notoriety and build his team, then he built a team that said, all of these other giftings, I need y'all to help me, execute these things.
Right. That's good.
Because what we don't realize is that we will try to do everything ourselves, not understanding that the giftings that's on the inside of us require a team. And that team doesn't always have to be a full-time employee of your organization or for yourself. Like there'll be certain people that are doing their own thing that are come in to help you and be a part of your team. Like I run and I have a team of people that help me in other areas, but then I'm a part of somebody else's team too. So Brian C. Clark, who is an amazing actor, who's an amazing acting coach, I told him, I was like, yo, like you need to do a cohort. You need to do you need to do a class. And he was like, man, I've always, he went to Yale acting. He's been on Broadway, done all these amazing things. And I was like, yo, I said like, he was like, man, I've thought about it, but I just don't have no help. And I was like, listen, I will help you. And I said, I'll build out the back end work. I'll do the aesthetics. I'll do your photo shoot for it. I do this. I do this. I was like, all I ask is that you coach me for free and I get a chance to be a part of the class. He said, are you serious? I was like, yeah. So yeah, I run a team, but I'm a part of somebody else's team. Yes. And I think the challenging part to us when we build something, we think that we're above being a part of somebody else and building up somebody else's thing.
Oops,
that's what I always tell that's what I always tell you. Like I always tell you, yo, like if you need some help in my particular wheelhouse, let me know. Like I got you. I help you with that. Like that's because my thing is it allows you to work for self, but then it keeps you humble by working for somebody else and helping somebody else get their vision off the ground. But when it comes to the acknowledgement of your body and burnout, one of the biggest things that I learned this the hard way because I was ignoring my body. I would get chronic migraines every single day. Around the same time, I would have to take a Excedrin migraine every single day. Like it never failed. And I'm talking about migraines that will literally shut my body down. Tears coming down my eyes. I would literally, I would have to go and lay in the dark for a long period of time, and it would be excruciating pain.
Wow!
Like I couldn't go to sleep pain. Like
wow!
Like one time I had to go to urgent care. They had to give me a shot in my butt to alleviate the headache. Like so, I was just ignoring my body, and a big part about it was I wasn't getting enough sleep. So,
like you said, you was ignoring your body because of the assignment.
Yep. Wow. I was like, oh no, like I gotta work. Like, and it became where, yeah, like, all right, I'm working with this team. I'm doing this for this. I'm doing this for this. I'm helping with this team. I'm doing all of these things, but you're only going to be as strong as you are. like I don't know why we feel like, just because at certain moments, like we show up for other people and we put the Superman cape on, the Superwoman cape on, and we're like, I'm here, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
And we can only do that for so long before your body tells you, no, you're not locked in. And it's impossible for you to be all the way locked in if you keep ignoring yourself. And so I'll say that how I have come to the place of working on trying to avoid burnout. For one, I've made myself a priority. That's number one. Okay. I've made myself how I feel a priority. Even when it comes to me building my own thing and then helping other people build their thing. And how I made myself a priority, and this is a cuss word for a lot of creatives, and it's called boundaries.
Talk about that.
You need strong boundaries, and you can love people and you still can establish and have boundaries. Yeah. You can care for people and still have boundaries. You can do for people and still have boundaries. And I tell people this, the only people that have a problem with you creating boundaries are people that were benefiting by you not having any. Those are the only people that's going to have a problem with you having boundaries.
But we don't always see it because we want to show up for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh no, like we just like, oh no, like I'm good, like we good, and in the moment you create them, people tell you, oh, you being funny, or no, like, and then it always be like somebody that thinks that they're above the boundary. So if I say, hey, yo, what I need for me is to, at 11 o'clock, I'm a night owl, but at 11 o'clock, I'm cutting my phone on do not disturb. That could be a boundary for you.
Certainly.
There'd be people that
I do that all the time.
there'd be people that, oh, no, wait a minute, but you need to answer for me. Like, what if I want to talk to you after that? Well, we got a whole day before that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need this to be who I am. And I think a lot of times we don't factor in what we need to be, who, like, wholly who we are. Like, what does it take to be you?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't factor that in. Like, and that we can go on a myriad of things with that, because people don't know what it takes to be you, even when it comes to dating, relationships, friendships, whatever. Like, people don't know what it takes to be you. People love the idea and the concept of an individual, but they don't know what it takes to be that person.
They see
so
the
having strong
post. They see the post, but they don't see, like,
exactly
right.
Exactly.
Right.
They see the highlight reel, don't see the behind the scenes.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So that becomes a whole thing. It's like, you see how I show up, but you don't see who really, like, what it takes to be this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to.
This episode is brought to you by the Weather Channel. What does the Weather Channel app share in common with a personal trainer and a life coach? It's an ally on your quest to wellness. What you do with its insight is up to you. Like running an extra mile when air quality is good, or checking your allergy forecast so not even ragweed can disrupt your chi. It's more than a weather app. What in the weather are you waiting for? Be a force of nature with the Weather Channel app.
Yeah.
And so creating strong boundaries, making yourself a priority, ask yourself, what do you feel like? Checking in with your body. How do you feel today? And if you do have this luxury, I tell people, man, exercise is luxury. If you don't feel it today, guess what? Don't do it today. There'll be certain things that you have to do. I'm not saying, but if it's something that like in a space where I love being creative, I'm a creative every day. I love that. But there are certain days I don't feel like being creative. And guess what? I get the luxury to say today ain't the day for creative mode. It could be an administration day. It could be whatever. I'm going to get things done that day, but it just may not be that, but creating those strong boundaries. And then also too, having a good community and support system is pivotal for working against burnout, because you will have people that will hold you accountable to the boundaries that you're saying that you want to set. And then also too, on the flip side, they'll hold you to the responsibilities that you are putting out there of what you're supposed to be doing. So what allows me to keep from that burnout is like my community telling me, hey man, you said you was going to release that book in 2026. Like, where are you with that? What's going on with that? And so they will remind me of what I said I wanted to do, which then pushes me to say, okay, I need to set some order and some structure to how I'm going to do those things, because I don't want to look up in 2026 and then still be in the same space that I've been in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, but we need a system in place, strategies in place. Those things are, so that's not like community, and then structure and strategy. So making yourself a priority, strong boundaries, having a community, and then structure.
I hope y'all writing this down, because this is good. You give it a whole master class.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need some structure, and that's where, again, trial and error. Yeah. I'm not good with that. Majority of creators, we struggle with administration and structure.
Oh, for sure. That's me all day.
Because that's me. Like that's me. So, but I'll say if we did number 2 effectively, then we probably can tackle number 3, because what I did in my community is that I staffed my life with my deficiencies.
Okay.
All right. I staffed my life with my deficiencies.
Okay.
What I was deficient of, I didn't envy. I didn't become jealous of. I didn't want to not partner with them because, I struggle in this particular area. Because whenever we struggle in the area that we really want to be better at, a lot of times when people come into our lives that are good at that, then we got an issue with them, or we don't, it's something about them we don't like, or whatever the case is. It's like, no, really, that's your, like, I call it managing your gap. It's the gap between where you are and where you desire to be. And it's a gap right there. And if you're not careful, that gap will cause insecurity.
Wow.
That gap will cause a level of insecurity.
I can see that
between where I am and where I want to be. Like I see it all the time in myself. Like I've started back going to the gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started back working out. I'm in there. But there's this guy named Chris. He be in the gym every day, and he got the body I want. Like he got the muscles that I want. Like, and I'm like, yeah. And then you start telling yourself dumb stuff like, yeah, if I had that, man, I'd probably be married by now. Like you start being dumb. Like because but here's the thing. I would see Chris in the gym every day. And I have the opportunity to either lean in and ask Chris, hey man, can you teach me what workouts you're doing to get that result?
Yeah.
Or I could be jealous of Chris and look at him in a place of envy and start to try to see things that's wrong with Chris. And majority of us in that gap space between where we are and where we want to be, we create it's like, oh, well, I got an issue with somebody that's good at that when we could partner with them. And so when it comes to areas of administration and it comes to areas of that I'm not good at, I found that gap. And guess what? I'm not trying to be good at it. I'm going to staff my life with it. And so I have great people in my community that provide me a level of structure and accountability for the things that I said that I wanted to do, which helps with the area of burnout, because when it comes to the administration side, especially on like photography, like people don't understand, like after you take the pictures, that's the easy part. It's the editing. It's the back end. It's the getting them the pictures because that's what they want, and they're hitting you up, and now you mad because they hit you up for the pictures, but you told them you was gonna send them to them. You see what I'm saying? Like, why you get attitude? Because they're asking you for what you said you was gonna deliver.
Right.
So it's the administration side of it. So having that, because then it doesn't put you in a place of rush all the time to figure it out. And what aids in burnout is that you feel like you are never catching up.
Wow. So we always feel behind.
We always feel behind.
Okay.
We wake up, you had a great night's rest, but then you wake up, you're like, oh my God, I got so much to do.
Yes.
Tired immediately. You're like, oh my God, like my day just so packed. Like I got this to do and I got this to do. And then
that's me. That was me this week, yo.
But here's the thing. We all been there, and we woke up, we felt that way. We said we had so much to do. And then we started thinking about all the stuff we got to do. And then we end up doing nothing. And then the next day we got the same stuff that we got to do. And now we're an extra day behind.
Right.
Because we didn't set a level of structure. So, so Monica, my assistant Monica, she lives in Atlanta, and I tell Monica all the time, like, yo, like, hey, check in with me with this. Check it. I invite her into the spaces for her to hold me accountable for the level of structure that I desire, because that helps with my burnout.
Okay. That's a good tip. I might have to implement that.
Yeah. Like literally, like, I think Monica was like on a date, and she texted me. She was like, hey, I'm busy. I'm on my date, but make sure you do da 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 da. And I'm like, oh dang. All right, let me get on that right now. And when you have community that cares about you as a person, but then also that cares about what you are to birth in this earth, and then they hold you accountable to words that I was saying, like in the beginning, like, hey, I want to go to the grave empty. Hey, you're not gonna go to the grave empty if you keep procrastinating. You're not gonna go to the grave empty if you don't have any structure, and you're not gonna go to the grave empty if you're always burnt out because you have not provided yourself a level of structure for the things that you say that you want to do.
Why are you preaching to me right now? Like this, like why? I can't. I invited you to help the people. You on here? I feel convicted based on things that you're saying.
but no, sis. Let me tell you, it gets me too all the time because as much as I'm talking about it, it's something that I'm trying to actively and consistently exercise in my life every single
Yeah.
day, and it is a challenge. It is a challenge, and I have to check myself with it every day. Um, it's challenging on multiple areas because there are times where Monica, I look at her like a sister. I love her, but there are times where she get on my nerves because why are you holding me accountable? What I said I want to do.
Right.
Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are asking me about what I said that I was going to release?
Right.
Next year. Like because nothing frustrates you more than you being held accountable to stuff that you said you wanted to do that you haven't started doing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and at some point we have to be met with ourselves to say, yo, like, stop playing.
Yeah.
And so I think that I think it's more, but I think that those three things, creating, setting boundaries, knowing yourself and being in touch with yourself, and knowing the strong things that you need to exercise and do. That's number
Yeah.
one. Number two, um, making sure that you have a level of community, that you set a level of community that holds you accountable to the things that you said you want to do, and then and then providing yourself a level of structure and strategy. Like, yo, like this is what we're doing, and we're not deviating from that. There's a strong level of structure and strategy that I have to implement, that I have to be in, that I have to provide for myself.
What's up, y'all? This is Clint Coley, and I'm the host of the Music is a Love Language podcast. Now, check this out. If you're a fan of music podcasts, then be sure to check out and subscribe to Music is a Love Language podcast. We are a podcast that has honest conversations about music all day, every day. If you like to argue music, this is the podcast you want to be listened to. And it's brought to you exclusively by the Revolt Podcast Network, anchored in hip hop and powered by creators. Again, make sure you guys follow and subscribe. Music is the Love Language podcast. I'm Clint Coley. Hope to have your ear soon.
As much as I do not like it, and I tell myself this: if something is on my list today and I don't get it done, it doesn't mean that it never gets done. It means it moves to tomorrow. It has to get done. Like, and so even though tomorrow has its own list, now, that has to go at the top of the list for tomorrow. Like, it doesn't go away just because I didn't do it. It just pushes it to the next day. So now I need to dive in and get this done.
Yeah. And that's something that I need to work on for myself, like the structure piece, finding systems in order to organize, because it's so much, bro. And I'm sure you can attest to this, like so much in us that I just want to I want to make sure that I leave this earth empty as well.
Yeah.
But it's hard when you got a whole to-do list because you have this business, that business, you got this book launching or what have you. Like it's so much.
Yep.
And I think the nuggets that you provided are so helpful. Do you still have your group where you coach other commas and multi-hyphenates?
So here's the thing. I had paused it and that's one of the things that Monica's been holding me accountable to. I had paused it for a while because I dove so far into photography that all my time, has been going to that. We actually start back up in October. So we start back up mentorship in October. It's going to be a thing.
Nice.
I'm doing this thing with the group where we're level setting on knowledge and information. So we're taking the month of October. Every day in the month of October, we're reading a proverb, a chapter out of Proverbs. We got 31 chapters. We got 31 days in October. So we're doing that process because I feel like the ground setting level of even us being creative is being in tune and in touch with the creator. Mm-hmm. And so we start back up in October. I'm excited about it, actually. So we'll be meeting every Monday.
Okay.
And so yeah, we just getting together. It's a thing virtually.
Nice. I might have to join. Like I need an accountability group because it's just this season has been seasoning, and
yeah,
there's a lot going on. So we got to figure that out.
Yeah, for sure. Like. Yeah, I think it's needed. I think it's needed for all of us,
For sure.
um, and so it's crazy because I was tripping because I was like, no, I'm not going to start it back up until next year, and I really felt like I was like, no, like start it this year, and so October, November, December, I'm doing all for free for anybody that just wants to just be a part, like, and so we're just gonna get together and create levels of community and accountability.
Listen, I'm there. I'm for real. I'm in there.
I like we all need it. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it ain't just you. It's all of us. Like if you hold if you hold multi gifts, and majority of us do, we're multi gifted. We can do various plethora of things that we can do. But now we just need structure on how to do those things and accountability of the things that we said that we wanted to do. We have to do it.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely a gem. I love the community that you're providing us. But can you let us know where we can continue to follow you and find some of your work?
Yeah, for sure. So everybody can follow me. I'm Adrian Davis now on a little bit of everything. So YouTube, Instagram, Adrian Davis now. And then if they want to tap in with the creative stuff, right now we've been running everything from www.thecommas.agency. And so running everything from that website, photography, our events now. We host a Do It Scared conference in Chattanooga, Tennessee every year in April. And so we're doing that again in April of 2020. What are we in? 2024? 2025? 2025? All right. Yeah. I'm throwing off. So we do that conference, and so we have people that are already registered for next year, and so that'll be on there as well. And so we just got a few things that we're pushing and that we're running. But yeah, you tap in with Adrian Davis now on all things.
Amazing. Well, again, thank you for your time, AD. Definitely appreciate you. So make sure that y'all tune into everything that AD has going on. AD now, Adrian Davis now, and www.commasagency.com.
Yep, the Commas Agency.
The Commas Agency. Okay. Awesome. All right. So make sure y'all tap in with everything he has going on. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in to another episode. Make sure you tune in next week. And don't forget, y'all, you have the power to create the emotions that you want to experience. God bless.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
But that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.